Football is awesome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Friday Night Roots. My name is Justin Thomas, and let's get into the video. Do me a huge favor, I know it's been a while, but do me a huge favor if you can. Like the video, share the video with your friends, and subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate the help. All the love I can get, I'm kind of willing to take. So, appreciate that. Let me jump into it. I know, just to kind of start, elephant in the room for me and me personally, I haven't been making videos. It's been about 2 weeks, I think, just over 2 weeks since I uploaded my last video. There is a reason for that. Honestly, I got a little burnt out. Life has been super busy. I travel probably every, at least seems like lately once a week, but sometimes every other week for work. So just like traveling all over the U.S. and working has just been super taxing on me, and I lost a little motivation there. Plus, there's a few times where I went to make a video and I had a plan and I kind of sat down and I went, there's just not enough for me to talk about here. And I knew I needed to react to the Super Bowl still, but anyway, dealing with some personal things with my real job and, my day to day. I'm, as you can probably hear from my voice, I'm a little sick. I got a little bit of a cold. So, just want to, dedicate to you guys that I'm going to do my best to get back on the horse and, upload videos daily, or, at least 5-6 videos a week just to keep the information flowing. It seems like what's so great about the NFL is there's just always news. There's always more things happening. There's always more exciting happening, even during the off season. Always plenty to talk about. So I still want to stay committed to that, but I'm going to jump back on the horse. I took a good 2 weeks off. Like I said, just dealing with some personal stuff, but I plan to be back full time and giving you guys the content you deserve so I can continue to build my fan base. And, this isn't my job. I do have a day job. So, as you can imagine, I'm kind of doing both, or trying to do both. This doesn't take too much, but, just trying to give everything I got at it. Right. Cause I would like to do this for a job someday. Probably not going to happen, but a man can dream. Right. So, anyway, football's awesome. And let's jump right into the video. Let's talk some ball. Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl reaction. I know it's kind of late. I probably won't get a lot of views on this video. Don't care. I'm going to upload it anyway. For if there's anybody who actually watches these, why not? I want to upload it and just, give my thoughts and what I thought on the Super Bowl, and because my prediction was wrong. So let's just jump right into it. Initial reaction is just, wow. I mean, I've obviously had two weeks to kind of digest the Super Bowl and how it went and the opinions surrounding the Super Bowl. So, no, I'm super, super excited, and just, wow. It was just one of those games that was just like, what is happening? I actually didn't even get to watch, the full game. I missed the first, or I actually missed the second, the third and fourth quarter. I was actually on an airplane traveling for work on Super Bowl Sunday. So I didn't even get to watch the awesome greatness of what the Eagles did to the Chiefs, but 22-40 Eagles. Man, it was just a fucking ass kicking. I mean, there's no better way to put it. There's no other better way to simplify it other than it was just a fucking ass kicking, and I loved every second of it. Yes, Eagles come home, Super Bowl 59 winners. They've now got 2 Super Bowls in post Super Bowl era, 2017, 2025. My brother's an Eagles fan. I talk about it. Super happy for him. Super happy for the Eagles organization. Howie Roseman, I mean, what a stud of a GM, the way he built that team. He's already been regarded as one of the better GMs in the league, but he nailed it. So huge congratulations to the Philly Eagles. Huge congratulations to the city of Philly. I mean, you guys killed it. You guys are awesome. I think I got a comment on my last video too, because I didn't rock with the Eagles, and I should have. I really wanted to, but I mean, given the history of the Kansas City Chiefs the last few years, who's going to vote against the Chiefs? Fucking nobody. So I kind of rolled with that, and I was wrong, but man, I wanted the Eagles, and I'm just glad it came out that way. So, where to start when it comes to the ass kicking? Kansas City had 9 possessions before they scored. 9. And they first scored with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. That was when they got their first 6 points. With 2 minutes left in the third quarter. 9 possessions. And in those 9 possessions, 2 interceptions among them. One was a pick 6. I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of one of those games you sit back and you go, well, what the fuck happened? I mean, 2 weeks. I think Andy Reid statistically after when he has 2 weeks to prepare for a game is he's like a 90 percentile guy. He's winning 90% of those games when he has 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, I think this one, it wasn't necessarily outcoached. I think they just got out footballed. I think the Eagles roster was better. I think their game plan was better. I just think it worked. Whatever the Eagles did, it worked. Time of possession wasn't too lofty, but it also was. Like, I mean, statistically, if you look at this game, this wasn't one of those games where you felt like oh, the Chiefs put up a fight. If you look statistically, because time of possession 36 minutes Philadelphia, 23 KC. Okay, not the worst. You can still win that way. First downs 12 Kansas City. That's when you're like, well, I don't know. And I think they had one first down in the first half, and it was the first drive to Juju Smith-Schuster. That was it. I mean, they didn't scratch another first down the whole first half. Eagles had 21. I mean, you can't compete with that. And of course, Kansas City had 3 turnovers. Philly only had 1, so that always kind of ties into that. But yeah, anyway, my point is that statistically speaking, when you look at this game, you look at the box score, it's like, okay, they put up a fight. They were able to become manageable at the end of the game. No, that's not. That's all garbage time football. I think the Chiefs scored all their points in the fourth quarter. They scored 6 or 10 in the 6 or 10 in the third, and then all the rest of their points were in the fourth quarter. Garbage time football. The yards, he had 200 something. Garbage time football. It was all at the end of the game when the Eagles clearly knew that was it. I mean, it was basically impossible for the Chiefs going into the fourth quarter to win. I mean, it was almost impossible. So it didn't matter. 3 turnovers for Kansas City, 1 for Philly. I think Jalen, as I was very critical of Jalen, I still am. I think Jalen's still obviously a great QB, top 10 for sure. But I'm critical of him in putting him at, in that second tier. I still think he's a third tier guy until I see a little more, but that's just my opinion. I still like Jalen, and luckily for him, he played the best when he needed to. And that's all you need to do in the NFL, right? And that's why Patrick Mahomes has been put on this pedestal, is because he just plays the best in these big moments. And I think Jalen did that this game. I really think in the big moments he shined. Eagles O-line played fucking outstanding, but we already knew that. Second best O-line in football, Lane Johnson. I mean, the trenches are just, I mean, the Eagles own the trenches. They don't even care. I mean, they don't even build anything around that team. They don't have a team without the way those O and D lines are. Of course, the D line played outstanding. Sweat, Oren Burks. I mean, they just killed it. I mean, the poor Mahomes. I mean, he just didn't have a shot. And I know that the Chiefs O line has been shaky, and Tooney, I forget, on the left tackle. He's been shaky at best all year. But we all kind of knew. We all kind of knew that the Eagles were going to be this good, but did I think that they were going to come in and punch the Chiefs, win the trenches that bad? No, I really didn't. But Sweat and Burks had a monster game. Excuse me. Some of the reports I was reading post the Super Bowl and the videos and the analysts I've been watching post Super Bowl said, the Eagles cracked the code. The Eagles cracked the code on the Chiefs. I fucking disagree. I think the Eagles still have the Kansas City still has a great GM in Brett Veach. I think they're gonna address the problem. I think Kansas City will still be relevant. However, I don't want that to take away from how awesome the Eagles played and how fundamentally sound they played. They played their ass off. I still think Brett Veach is still one of the best GMs. The Chiefs are gonna be fine. They got Mahomes. There's definitely a question as to if Travis Kelce's gonna retire. I know that's kind of this looming. A lot of people are saying yes. A lot of people are saying no. He wants to win one more. Who the hell knows? I don't care. Do I really think losing Kelce is going to make a huge difference to the Chiefs? Actually, I don't. I don't think he will, because Kelce in the regular season the last 2-3 years has kind of been shaky at best. In the postseason, he's been fantastic. Not including this year, other than that first game. Excuse me. Other than that first game he played in, he's been all right at best, it seems. So who knows if Kelce stays? That's kind of one of those. I mean, I'm sure in the future, whether we find out, I'll make a video and kind of share a deeper, darker opinion about that. But Kelce, if he retires, I think the Chiefs will be fine. Do I think they're up there still? Probably. I don't know. With Veach and Andy and Spagnuolo, they're going to be competitive and they're going to be a good football team. It's just a matter of how good and how far they go, right? I also want to give a shout out to the Eagles DBs. I mean, DeJean, Slay Jr., CJ, Bond, Blankenship. I mean, those guys were flying around during the Super Bowl. Flying around. Super happy. Super big DeJean fan, Cooper DeJean fan. Hell yeah, man. Got that pick six on pick six on Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Save that football. You'll have that the rest of your life. So, yeah, I mean, the Eagles just beat them in every aspect of the game. Fundamentally, trenches. I think they blitzed like 3 times that game, and Patrick Mahomes had like over 65% pressure rating or pressure percentage. I mean, it was just so bad. I mean, it was so bad that, and I don't know. I can't. I'm just so happy for the Eagles and what they've done and what they've built. I mean, I'm a 49ers fan, so I'm not super overly happy because, they're going to be waiting for us in the postseason probably the next few years. But and a bright spot for Kansas City, not that anyone wants to hear a bright spot for them, but bright spot for them, they did stop Saquon. They were able to crack that code of stopping Saquon. And you pair that with Jalen playing his best game all fucking season, hitting Devontae Smith deep, hitting A.J. Brown on the out routes for the touchdowns. I mean, and then the turnover, the 2 interceptions by Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it was a perfect storm, and he just got his ass kicked. I'd say it's really probably the only Super Bowl I've seen that you could have multiple MVPs. And 2 of them aren't even players. They're, the GM and the defensive coordinator. I mean, they just played so well. I mean, Howie Roseman, the team he put together, Kellen Moore on the offense they put together. I mean, the DC Vic Fangio, the quarterback, Jalen had his best game of the season, like I said, and then that whole D-line to win an MVP. I mean, they're rushing 4 and they're getting over 60. I mean, Mahomes couldn't do anything. I mean, he couldn't even walk straight. It was terrible. But and like I said, if you really look at the box score of the game and you see the statistics, I actually, obviously, when I got off the plane for work, I went and rewatched the Super Bowl. And when you look at the statistics, like the box score on ESPN or whatever website you look at it on, I mean, they're all garbage. That's all garbage time stats. He didn't get any of those stats till like the 4th fucking quarter. So it's like, oh, he had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's like, that was all after the game was over. The game was over. Garbage time football. So I don't want to hear it about, oh, Mahomes still had he didn't play that. Bullshit. He had a terrible game. And that kind of leads me into the second topic of this video. And then I'm going to just do these 2 topics, and then tomorrow I'll do another one. But the second topic, this video, also, so let me end it with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Super happy for the Eagles. They deserve it. Go enjoy it. Go they did the parade. Go have a killer time. But football's an awesome sport, and what's so awesome about it is, what's today? It's February 24th. You have about, another 6-7 months. Those pads and helmets are going back on. So get ready. And that's all I have to say about it. Like, the beauty of football is the next year there's another season, and it's back to the Eagles. It's time to climb the mountain again. The Chiefs, it's time to get off the horse, reset, get back on it, and climb the mountain again. So, anyway, let's move on. Second topic, how will, one of the other themes I've been seeing lately in the media is, how will this impact Mahomes and his legacy? For me, I am a very Mahomes-friendly guy because as much as I am a fan of the 49ers, I started this channel and I do this whole thing because I have a passion for football. I have a passion for good football, like fundamentally sound, smash mouth football. Like, I have a passion for that. So that's why I think, and Mahomes is that good. I really do think he creates that. So I talk passionate about him. But if you're in a poker game and you're down, meaning if you're in a poker game, anybody can win with a full house. But can you win with a pair of 7s? And that's where it comes down to me is now we have this GOAT conversation between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. How does that game affect Patrick Mahomes' legacy? And, how will it? If it will, how much, right? Because Brady had obviously the Chiefs were the inferior roster in this game. I think Brady won a lot of his Super Bowls, though, with an inferior roster in those games. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, there were games like, they were projected to lose by 20. I mean, Tom Brady he just always found a way to win. And I felt like Patrick's embodied that, but to an extent. In this loss, you kind of have to more focus on the loss versus the wins Patrick Mahomes has had in this case, which sucks to do, but it's kind of part of the deal, right? He had 2 weeks to prepare with Andy Reid. I just don't remember a Super Bowl where Tom Brady was trailing 34-0 in any game, let alone a Super Bowl. And then, not only that, the one he was getting absolutely spanked in, he ended up coming back and winning the damn thing. So, before we get into all the GOAT nonsense with Patrick Mahomes, um, I think Brady had bad moments. He had bad quarters. He had bad halves. He had bad games even. But I don't think he had a failure anywhere near this substantial. I think this is like one of the biggest ones that we've seen in a long time. So for me, that I do think, does it have an impact? Yes, but is Patrick Mahomes considered worse than Brady? Just he'll never be the same? No. It depends on how many Super Bowls he wins in the next probably 15 years because Mahomes will be in the league a while, right? I think one of Brady's Super Bowl losses was the Eagles, and it was still a one possession game and I don't think they punted the entire game either. So it's like that's something you have to consider when you talk about will this impact Patrick Mahomes' legacy and him being the next great thing or the next GOAT, if you will. Brady had pick sixes in Super Bowls. Brady was, but he was better in Super Bowls, frankly, than Patrick Mahomes. That's simple. I mean, as of right now, he's been better. Patrick Mahomes, his average passer rating in the Super Bowls is just under 90. It's like 80, 87, 88, 89 something. I mean, statistically speaking, Patrick Mahomes doesn't play that well in the Super Bowl. He just wins the damn thing, right? And that's all you need to do. Granted, I mean, I can't measure his greatness off, bad passer rating. He wins the thing. I haven't won shit. So, that's awesome. But I think Brady in games similar to this with the inferior roster was always better. Here's where Brady still holds the GOAT crown for me. I think Brady was better at being in these tougher, closer games and able to find ways to win, right? Not that Patrick does that all the time. He finds ways to win. But I think in a more direct scenario, direct adversity, I think in this case, because the Eagles were so dominant, I feel as if Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady would have played better than Patrick Mahomes in that exact same situation. In fact, I think that if Tom Brady was playing that game, he would have at least today been able to make them, let's say, let alone win, but at least competitive. I mean, they weren't even competitive that whole game. They just got killed. So I just think Brady was better in those similar games. I mean, I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes will never take the GOAT title, but I think we need to put a pin in the GOAT title conversation for now. We just need to hold on to it. Not because I get it, Patrick Mahomes just won 2 in a row. That's still incredible. But let's just put a pin in it. No one's ready to give him that title yet, but I just feel like I said, Brady always had their team in a position to win. Patrick just didn't do that. Brady would have had that. Sure, Brady may have lost it, but it would have been way closer. It probably would have been way more competitive, and it just wasn't a good situation for Patrick Mahomes altogether. He just couldn't make it competitive. And I think also watching the game, it really helped me realize how good Brady is and how good he was. I mean, Brady, it seemed like most of his Super Bowls, he had the inferior roster, and he would just win. I mean, he wouldn't win. I mean, he'd just win. He always made them competitive, or he was always able to. And I saw him, do an interview with Colin Cowherd recently, and he was talking about it. He said, "You know what, Colin? All I used to do the day we won, I'd take one day off, and I was just film the next 2 weeks, just film. That's all I wanted. I wanted to know them better than they knew themselves." And I think Tom would have been given that. The way he presented that he might have been able to do that against this Eagles team, but we'll never know that. I just think, Tom Brady was unable to do or not a similar situation is like Seahawks. Seahawks had like a stacked roster and, absolutely undid Peyton Manning, undid him. And Peyton Manning's considered one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL in NFL history, but Tom Brady set himself apart by always somewhat being competitive or never losing by too much. Brady never lost a game like this. Patrick Mahomes now has lost a game like this. How will that affect his future? Not sure. Do I think it will directly impact it? Yes, I do. Do I think it will change the GOAT conversation? It depends. Depends on how many Super Bowls he wins. We're not going to know until the end of Patrick Mahomes' career, however that may end. We're not going to know. Because, if he wins 8 Super Bowls, he can't really say much. It doesn't matter. I mean, he won 8 fucking Super Bowls. So, one of those interesting topics I wanted to cover and talk about. But that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Like I said, I'm going to continue to try and make more videos, continue to try and be more involved. Life just gets busy sometimes, so I'll do my best. And as always, let's talk some football. Love you.